Death on the Nile is the new Kenneth Branagh film that is out and available for you guys to go and check out on the big screen. This is a mystery crime where who did it? As we enter onto a boat on the Nile in Egypt, we see a beautiful cast of a lot of superstars, but there is one rich woman who gets murdered, and now the detective must figure out who did it, who has the motive, who wanted to kill, who wanted her dead. But I'm going to tell you guys my thoughts on this movie. Let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of this movie? Smash it down there, let's get a discussion going. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and let's jump into this review of The Death on the Nile.
The murderer is here, and will stay here.
Okay, so The Death on the Nile, the new Kenneth Branagh mystery crime thriller. This one was supposed to come out, I think, last year, or maybe the year before as well. I don't know, I can't remember. Everything's been pushed so many times that I forget and lose track of where everything was supposed to be. But we finally got this movie. The Kenneth Branagh movie has finally come out. And what did I think of this movie? Look, I love these sort of whodunit movies. I love Knives Out. I didn't mind Murder on the Orient Express either. I didn't mind that movie. So naturally, I do like Kenneth Branagh as well. I do like his movies quite a lot. So I was super excited to see him come back as the detective and really show us what he could do with this mystery crime. I'm going to be completely honest though. I like it, but I have issues with this movie. First off, I think the whole first part of the movie for the flashback felt pretty unnecessary. It really... I get why he did it, but I felt like it wasn't a big enough payoff for me to go, oh, I remember that. Now, that was when he was back there. Now, it was kind of like pointless. I think you could cut that out and move that out. Now, the whole first act is very slow paced, and that was an issue for me because it took so long to get this movie going. I felt like I was just watching people on holidays for so long. And I get why you try to do that, because you try to get these characters and kind of make me feel like, oh yeah, I care for this character, care for this character, care for this character. So when certain people die and certain people have been accused and stuff, you kind of like sitting there like, oh my god, I really care for the character. I hope it's not her. I don't think it's her. But it just, the pacing of that whole first act was just, it's pretty sleepless. I was kind of sitting there like, are we gonna get to the actual stuff first? There's this whole sequence of getting off the boat and going into this place that I felt was pretty unnecessary. It's like it's a whodunit. But as for the characters themselves, I'm going to be completely honest here. Gal Gadot's character, I think is an absolute bitch. I do. I think she's an absolute bitch. And what she did was kind of like, why would you do that in the first place? Like, I don't get it. But then when the big reveal and everything happens, you kind of like, okay, but it's pretty predictable. At the first, when the first murder happens, when she gets killed, you kind of sit there and you're like, okay, so who did it? Because this person's here, this person's here, this person's here. So who did it? So naturally there you're doing it. But then you kind of clock on and it starts to become predictable of who actually did it. And that's an issue for me when it comes to these things. Because when it was Knives Out, I didn't know who it was. I didn't know who was the killer. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, so who is it? And what Rian Johnson did really, really well with that film is he kept me guessing, oh, maybe it's him. No, maybe it's her. Maybe. And it kept me changing my mind all the time. This one, I kind of was like, okay, it must be her. But then when like the detective interviews her, you kind of then go, I know who it is now. I know exactly who it is and how this is going to pan out. And then it's kind of, yeah, it gets very predictable, which is a shame because I really wanted to like this film. I thought the first bit of the mystery was really, really good because they had people in certain areas and I'm kind of thinking, okay, but you kind of clock on to where it's going. Now, as for the characters themselves, they're pretty shitty. I'm not going to lie, they're pretty crappy. I don't really care for any of them, bar the detective. The detective is really the only one that I care about. And there's this really good scene where he's talking to one of the girls on the boat, and he's pouring out his heart after having a drink, and he's really talking about love. And that's what this whole central point of this movie is. It's about love and what you're willing to do for love. That's really what I got. That was the sense, the whole theme around this was love. What would you do for love? Would you kill for love? So, the detective was really the only character that I really cared about. And it was cool to see him dissect it all. That was really, really fun. As for the effects, though, I'm going to say, some of the backdrop just didn't look right. I was watching when the boat was going on the water, and I was kind of like, okay, that's green screened. That's not real. And it kind of took me out a bit, where there were some shots that were like, you could see were real, and it looked spectacular. But then it was just like, why are we doing this CG terrible backdrop? I don't know, it just kind of like, it was annoying. But when you got a cast like this, the cast is incredible. You have Russell Brand, Gal Gadot, you've got the chick that plays in, what's it called? Sex Education. She's in there, plays Maeve. She's in there. You've got Kenneth Branagh's in there. You've got Armie Hammer, the guy that's going through so much crap. But you've got the Gal Gadot. You've got this great stellar cast in there, and I just felt like the characters lacked the story and the motive to why they did it. Like, it makes sense in a way, because I get why the killers did what they did, but the ending to the mystery was kind of like a bit of a letdown. It really was a bit of a letdown how it ended. I was kind of like, okay, so we're just ending it like that. So that was a bit disappointing. The music was okay. There's nothing spectacular or anything like that. There were some really cool shots, though. I did like some of the cinematography in this movie. I really enjoyed the coloration, the way that Kenneth Branagh was able to use these vibrant colors to really bring out some of the moments, some of the cool stuff that happens in this. That was all cool, but I just have some issues with it. I really wanted to like this more. It did feel like the pacing let it down a bit as well as the special effects. But overall, I liked it. It's probably in an average tier for me. So yeah, that's my thoughts. But let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of the death on the Nile? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Smash it down below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. See you guys next video. Till then, stay safe. Peace out.